Welcome back, Bronco Nation. This is Bronco Nation Live. I'm Nick Wade alongside Sam from Sam Talk Sports. Today we're covering Bronco sports, previewing the Boise State San Diego State game. How's it going, Sam?
Oh, it's going great. I've been looking forward to this game since San Diego State puts only held Northern Illinois to 3 points. So,
Yep, San Diego State's got quite a good defense. But before we hit that, you want to cover the weekend sports for Boise State?
yes, let's roll with it, Nick. The soccer. How about you tell us you were over there in that country? I don't know if you actually attended the game or not, but I know you could probably hear it. I know it broke attendance records. I think 1,800 people there, if I'm not mistaken. What was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, so the Bronco women made a deep run in the Mountain West Championships. Couple thrillers. They had the home pitch. The first game they went 2 overtimes, and then they went to PKs, where they overcame San Diego State 3-2 in PKs. And then in the championship game, they took on Utah State, which really made me nervous. Utah State has a tendency of breaking our hearts, and that game went into overtime. But that was a thriller because the Boise State Broncos found themselves in an 0-2 deficit. They came back. Kayla Soderstrom with the off-foot equalizer tied it up at 2-2. Then it went into 2 overtimes again, and then that came to PKs as well. And in PKs, Ava DeLeese had a remarkable year, but it kind of crept up on her in PKs. And on the Utah State, they had a veteran in there for them. They fell 4-2, I believe, in PKs. And Utah State, once again, broke our heart, and they moved on to regionals.
Yeah, I was concerned whenever we went 3-0 on them to end the regular season. I was concerned that Utah State would be coming back with a vengeance to avenge that shutout loss. And I was there. Whenever they scored that second goal, the second goal go up 2-0. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, well, it was a good season.
Yeah.
And then whenever the handball happened in the box and we were able to get that first goal, I'm like, all right, there's enough time to get something going. And whenever the equalizer hit, I had to hone myself in because all the kids in the house were asleep. Like, yeah, let's go. There's a couple times in both overtime periods that Boise State had a chance to pull that one out and just couldn't get it in the net. So
I knew when Olivia Collins had that PK from the handball, I knew she's clutch. I knew she would at least get that. And then when Kayla hit that equalizer, that came out of nowhere. And then after that, it seemed like Broncos had the momentum, and it was just and they actually had I think from the second half on, even into both overtimes, they had they dominated the possession of the ball for the most part.
Yeah.
So they had plenty of opportunities. Just unfortunate they couldn't take advantage of that and come out with the win in that automatic qualifier for the regionals.
Yeah, and I know they were on the bubble to get the at-large, and a few losses early on in the season kind of derailed that, but they were undefeated regular season in the Mountain West Conference, and you got to wonder if the legs having to play 2 overtimes plus PKs before against San Diego State, you got to wonder if they didn't have to take that to overtime if that would have been a different outcome against Utah State, with Utah State having to go to overtime too. Both sides look gassed. Both sides running way more than I could ever do in a single game, but you got to wonder if the legs were an issue there towards the end.
We got a comment here in IG real quick for you, Sam. It's from the Dion Washington Glazer, used to be the Breezy Glazer. He said, Sam, just so you know, in the Pick'em group chat, I didn't mean to call you old. I meant to say that you had a lot of like experiences, like stuff you have done, not calling you old. So that's all right, Dion Washington Glazer. I'll call him old. He's an old fogey, man.
It's good to see the people support the old farts in the world. He's just mad that I'm beating him. So,
how's that pick him going? I know you were ahead for a little bit, and then it got kind of tight there after a while.
I got a little cocky, thinking, "Oh yeah, this team's going to show them," and they definitely did not show them. I think I had a week where I only won one game, but last week I had the perfect week. So that 1 week I only won one game. I only won one game and was still in first place. So that's how big of a lead that I had. So now I'm working on getting that lead back, and I'm in prime position to overtake them at the end to take first place. So
you can teach old dogs new tricks.
I know. Well, let's shift some gears into the volleyball. Is the volleyball team heating up, Nick? They lost to Wyoming, a game that we thought if they could win, that'd put them up into first place.
Yeah.
And then I don't think anybody gave them a chance against Colorado State, and they ended up pulling that one off. Is the volleyball team heating up?
I've been waiting for them to catch fire, and because right now they really need to do this. Because I was going to say, unfortunately for our women's sports like soccer and volleyball and basketball, really slim chance to get an at-large bid into any kind of postseason tournament for regionals or anything. They literally need to win the postseason tournaments that they go into, as you can see with soccer. But I really like to see volleyball really start to heat up. I'm hopeful from this last match that they won versus San Diego State or Colorado State. Really hopeful to see them catch lightning in a bottle when they really need it. Right now, I think they're in position 4. I think if they win tonight, I think they clinch at least a spot in the postseason tournament. Not sure if they're going to catch Utah State. That's a heck of a team. But I'm hoping that they can get momentum going right now when it counts. Ride it into the postseason, and get. I don't think that they can squeak into the regular season championship. They've been in a drought. They're sitting about, I think it's been about 4.5, 5 years since they've won a championship. So, like the other programs, the standard is the standard, and the standard is win conference championships. So, really would hope to see them get, if they don't get the regular season championship this year, catch that lightning in a bottle, take it into the postseason tournament, and win that, and then move on to regionals in the NCAA tournament. They beat Colorado State 3-1. Tonight they are taking on San Jose State in San Jose. So San Jose State has a losing record, so they have a really good chance to take this. They've already beat them, I think, at least once or twice this season already. I believe it's once at home, but it could have been twice. I would expect them to win tonight. That would put them at 2 games in a row for a streak, and on the right course at the end of this season.
Yeah, and it's good that they're they're heating up at the end of the season. I'd rather them heat up now heading into the tournament than be cold heading into the tournament. So speaking of heating up, women's basketball, they're off to a quick start, 2-0. Both games, their first game against Eastern Oregon was a little bit closer than they probably wanted. We talked to Danny yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, right? Yep. I was trying to get my dates in order. Yeah. We talked to her yesterday, and they kind of turned things around and really took it to who'd they play? I'm drawing the biggest blank.
University of San Francisco.
There it is.
Yeah.
You can tell us all about it, Nick.
Yeah. So, like you said, they had kind of that when we were talking to Danny yesterday, the women had kind of a first game, kind of like the men, but they were able to make it over that struggle and get the win over Eastern Oregon. And then University of San Francisco came into town for, what was it, Kids Day. And the women were able to really handle business in that game. Really wasn't a lot of doubt. They really poured it on in the second half. And I believe it was almost a 20-point win, and Natalie Pascoe got the player of the game for that, but Danny Bays could have easily got it too, but that surge from Natalie in the second half kind of nailed it for her. The women are sitting at 2-0 on the season. They look really good. I'm really looking forward to for them to take the opportunity and get out of the drought that they've been in. They're also in another drought. Theirs is a 5-year drought. They're looking to send these seniors out on high with a championship. Danny Bays is pretty confident. She wants all the rings. So yeah. And I'm all for that. So
yep. Where can people see that interview at, Nick?
Yeah, you can if you want to watch that interview. It's really good. This is one of our best shows that we had. You can find that on the channel that you're watching now if you're on YouTube at Bronco Nation Updates, or it's also on our website at bronconationupdates.com. Tomorrow night, the women are taking on UC Davis at home. They're still on their home stand at 7:00 Mountain Time. So if you're here in Boise, that it's the only show in town. So yeah, make sure you come to the X and watch some awesome basketball. The women, they're great. They have basically the Fab Four. They've got 4 seniors who are all scorers. They're future Hall of Famers. So come support them and watch them, and make this season special for them.
Yep, and I've said it time and time again. Let's break attendance records. Go out there, just go. It's fun. It's fun watching your teams, especially whenever they win. It's fun watching them when they lose, just for the atmosphere. When you have that many fans together and the electric feeling, makes it fun. UC Davis, they spread the floor. They got some deep 3 shooters, so the ladies could use that extra energy from Bronco Nation to help them take them down, so they don't stumble up early on in the season. And then later in the week, they actually go to Colorado, and that one's going to be ESPN Plus. So that'll be a fun game to watch as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really good measure on where the team is, and they generally do that. They'll start at a nice homestand, with some decent opponents, and then usually they'll take on at least one Power 4 school, maybe 2, and that kind of will give you the gauge of where they're at. And they've done very well the last several years in that non-conference schedule. I mean, you're talking about a team who's had 5 or 6 future Hall of Famers for the last 6 years. So they, Danny expressed that, really irks her that they haven't won a championship. So I think maybe they have a really good shot this year with that mentality. They want to prove this and wrap up the Mountain West with a nice bow and say sayonara. It was fun. And then as they go, they leave a better place for the next generation in the Pac-12.
Yeah. So the man, after their season opening loss to Hawaii Pacific, they bounced back this last week. They hung 100 on good Lord. My mind is not here tonight, Nick. they hung 100 on
UT RGV.
No, Utah Valley. Utah
Valley.
I had UT in my head. I'm like, that's not it. What is it?
Okay.
And then I saw it go across the screen. Like, it's Utah Valley. But I hung 100 on Utah Valley to right the ship. And I really think the HPU loss grounded them. And we talked about this earlier. Kind of humbled them and put them in that mindset of anybody on any given day can come out and beat us. So we have to play 100%. So, and they went and UT Rio Grande Valley, they Boise State's actually played them once, but it was Pan America, and the UT system merged 2 of the schools and called it UT Rio Grande Valley. So that's where we're at with that one. But hung 20 points or 85 points on them, beat them by 20. We had some really good showings by Javen Buchanan. Had 15 points. Meadow with his 21 points. And Andrews with 12 and Aaron's with 11. I mean, we've got some shooters. And Drew Fielder was he was not a factor at all. He had 1 rebound and 3 turnovers and 3 fouls for the entire game. And he only played for 12 minutes. So him not being a factor where he was one of the driving forces behind the Utah Valley win, and seeing everybody else able to step up and fill that spot, it's got to make you feel good, because that's been one of our issues in the past is those long scoring droughts, because we've only had 1 or 2 scorers. And when they are both cold at the same time, then you get them long scoring droughts and start losing leads or getting leads grow bigger on you. So being able to have multiple scorers in multiple positions and not focused on 1 or 2 positions is really great. I'm really excited to see how they mature and progress through the season. Because they played like a complete team against Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, and it was really good to see. With an impact player like Drew Fielder, he's going to be one of the stars of the show. And not having any, being scoreless, and then, watching the other teams, the other players step up, having Javen Buchanan step it up and do Javen Buchanan's things. We have a question from IG that it's not really a question, but they say the Hawaii Pacific game scares me. Does that raise concern for you right now, Sam? After what you've seen the Broncos do with UVU and UTRGV?
No, I think the way that they turn the ship around versus both of those teams, they're heading in the right direction. It's not even going to be a factor come bubble watch time, because 90% of those guys that vote and put people in brackets, they're not looking at who you played or anything like that, unless they have to get deep down into the nitty gritty. There's like 10 teams for 2 spots. Then they're going to really dive into it, which could happen, but it's not likely that the HPU loss is going to hurt Boise State if they continue to produce the way that they've produced this week. The HPU loss isn't even going to be reflected on any of the net ratings or anything like that. So it's not going to be a factor for people that just look at the stats, unless they dive into the schedule and each game played and everything like that. Then it might just be a kind of an afterthought. Well, they lost the first game of the year to HPU, but it was the first game of the year. So I don't think it's going to hurt. If it would have been a midseason loss or a loss just before Mountain West play, yeah, I might have a little concern about it. But first game of the year, everyone's shaky for. Let me rephrase that. Most everyone's shaky first game of the year. The only problem is Boise State wasn't able to shake off the cobwebs fast enough to make it. And Andrews, he missed the game winner shot. He went out after the arena cleared out and practiced that shot. That's a championship mentality by Andrews right there. And I guarantee you, if it comes down to the line again and he gets that ball, he makes it 9 times out of 10, because he failed the team in his eyes. And in my summarization, he failed the team. He cost them the loss by not making that final shot, or the win by not making that final shot. So he waited for the arena to clear out, and he went out there and he practiced that shot over and over and over and over again until he was confident he'd make it. So we haven't seen that in Boise State teams of past, or at least haven't been told about it.
Yeah, I have a little bit of apprehensiveness, towards that initial loss. I like I said before in some of our other shows, I do believe that this is a great team. I think that they're going to do great. But where my apprehensiveness comes from is, I just fear that, say you have, and it all depends on how well the conference does as a whole. I'm concerned that if it doesn't produce like it has in the past, where they're flirting with like multiple bids from outside of the AQ, depending on how well the conference does. If you have where there's only say 3 teams that make it, I'm just concerned that if it came down to if San Diego State does what San Diego State does, or New Mexico does what New Mexico does, or even Utah State does what they do, where they can put those 4 teams under the microscope and then hold that Division II loss against Boise State that way. I hope that that we just we handle our business so that it's a non-factor. But I almost feel like either we win the Mountain West tournament to get in, or it's one of those years where it's like you're biting you're biting your cheek to see if they get picked with the pageantry.
Yeah, and there's one thing that they can do that will completely erase the HPU loss, and that's just go win Maui. I mean, you win Maui and it doesn't matter, because you've proven you can win the tournament games and be a champion. And so if it comes down to something like that, because USC is probably the favorite to win Maui this year. So if you go in and knock off a USC, a Big Ten team, and then second or third place in the Mountain West, obviously we're going to shoot for first. But like you said, you have San Diego State, New Mexico, Utah State, sometimes Nevada.
In Colorado State.
And Colorado State. So you have that group, that core group, where you could get quality wins if those teams produce like they have in years past. So there's ample opportunity to erase HPU. And like I said, if people are just going to look at stats, it's not even going to show up whenever they look at net rankings and all that. So, and Boise State's not the only team that lost to a D2 school this year. So other teams that have postseason aspirations have struggled or even lost. And I can make the list up for next week if you're super interested, but I don't have it readily available right now. Let's move on to beach volleyball. The ladies, they were over at the Duos down in Huntsville, Alabama, the AVCA. The AVCA National Pairs. Ava Anderson and Addison Walden got 31st, tied for 31st in that one. The second year in a row that pair has finished in the top half of the bracket. Last year they finished 25th. So little fall off there, but they did better than half the field, so that's good. Mm-hmm. But I do want to bring on a special guest today. Outside of our football and chill, which that special guest may not be here. We're still waiting. We're hoping. But special in a way that it is my son. And if you've watched the show we had with Doc, you saw him commenting. But we're going to give him a shot at a new stage. And we're going to call it Bry Talks Esports in the Esports Corner.
Hello.
Bry, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. So you actually play Valorant and you play Rocket League. You have played Overwatch, but you say you're not that into it. And you say you have played Smash a few times. So that's the big four. Mm-hmm. So you've seen kind of some of the matches. I know you and I watched quite a few of them this last week and the week before. What are your thoughts overall as a team for the Boise State Esports?
For the Boise State Esports, I see them as a great team. I've seen how they play together, how they use teamwork. I'd say that they have quite a future ahead of them in the esports category.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it.
Yeah, they are a 6-time national champion, so you're not lying there. They're one of the premier programs in the nation. Now, we're not going to dive too much into Smash Bros, but what kind of record? Where are they standing in the Smash Bros? I know. Yeah, go ahead.
In Smash, it's not looking the best currently. With they're 1-4, number 7 on the leaderboard. I believe they can bring it up. I want to give them that chance. I want to see them rise that score a little bit, at least make it to number 4 or number 5 around there. I want to see them rise. I know they can.
Yeah. And then so Smash, you've played it a few times. Kind of give a brief overview of the game for the people that may not quite understand it.
So the way Smash works is you have a set of 3 lives as a character, which these characters go from a ton of different Nintendo games. Smash itself is a Nintendo game. You'll be playing characters as, like, you'll be a Pokemon. You could be Link. You can be any, like, Samus. You can just be different characters across different Nintendo games in Smash. You'll pick a character. You'll have 3 lives. Each time you get hit, you have a percentage meter. You'll have a percentage meter that rises every time you get hit. And the higher that percentage meter is, the farther you'll fling back, and basically the more hurt you'll get out of getting hit. And once you fall off the map and you are out of frame, then you'll lose a life and you'll respawn on a platform, have a couple of seconds of immunity before the platform drops, and so do you. And then you're back into the fight. Once all 3 lives are lost, you're spectating, you're out.
Is there a specific strategy in the esports realm that they're doing?
For Smash specifically, I haven't watched too much of it. I wouldn't know if they're coming up with new strategies or anything, but I will start to get into it.
Whenever you played Smash, what were your characters that you picked?
Pikachu.
All right. All right. Moving on, we've got Overwatch 2. This one here is probably, I think it's Boise State's third best, if I'm not mistaken. Their third best event. You've also played Overwatch. You prefer some of the other shoot 'em up games to Overwatch, though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I do know a bit of what I'm saying about Overwatch, so I can tell you some stuff there. What do
Yep.
you want to know?
So, just again, give us a quick overview of the game. Is it more like a Call of Duty, or is it a more of a quest type game? What's Overwatch 2?
Okay. Overwatch 2 is another FPS shooter game, first person shooter. That it has a couple of different modes. You've got the normal casual game mode, which in all video games, for some reason, casual is always going to be harder than ranked. But you've got this casual mode where it has domination, like you'd see in Call of Duty. You go and capture a point. You've got this one game mode. I forget what it's called, but you have to escort a payload. That's what it's called, escort the payload. You've got that game mode where you have to escort it down and reach the enemy side before the time runs out. And if they successfully stop you from doing that, then they get the point, they win. Then you've also got this game mode where you've got 3 game modes. So in competitive, these game modes change a little bit by the factor that all 3 game modes have a timer, and the quicker you get your objective done, the more time you're going to have in the game for the next round. And if both teams end up at a point where they have the same amount of points at the end, then it'll go off of who has more time. And once you use that time left remaining, you will be able to push your payload to as far as you can. And whenever your time runs out, as far as you made it, that is your final stand. And then the other team has to beat that final stand or lose that final stand.
Nice. And Boise State beat Ohio State 3-2 this last week. So what did that do for their record?
That put them at 4 wins to 2 losses, marking them number 4 on the standings.
All right. And moving on to a game that you probably know a whole lot more about than the other two combined, Rocket League. Boise State beat Ohio State 3-0. It's a different game, right? It's kind of mixed soccer and racing and a big dome.
This is a different game. There is no other game like it. Whenever this game first came out, nobody knew how to play it. There's no other game that you could have played before Rocket League to already have some skill at Rocket League.
So what is Rocket League?
Rocket League is car soccer. That's the simple way to put it. You're a car. You got different cars with different hitboxes. You've got the main 3, the Dominus, the Octane, and the Fennec. Really, are the main 3 that you'll use. But default 3, Dominus, Octane, and I want to say it's the Merc that you start off with, which is the Dominus has a plank hitbox. It's going to be lower. It's going to make more powerful flicks. It's going to give you some pretty powerful shots. The Dominus and Fennec, they've got the same hitbox. What it'll do for you is it's got more of a boxy one. Little bit of a box, little bit of a rectangle. It's not so big, not so small. That hitbox basically balances out everything. You can okay.
So you can get scores, you can get, what is it, demos? What's a demo?
A demolition, that'll be whenever your car is going supersonic speed. You'll have a trail going behind you. That's how you know. You'll go supersonic speed, ram into another car, they go kaboom.
All right. Does that put them out of the game completely, or does it just reset them, respawn them basically, and make it easier to score?
It does not take them completely out of the game. All it does is it leaves you seeing the kaboom smoke, and then you'll respawn by one of the corner 100 pads, and you'll be able to go from there. It
All right.
takes 3 seconds to respawn.
Cool. So basically, you have 3 seconds to where you're a 3-second power play in essence.
Yes. Each game is run on a 5-minute timer. There's no score limit. It's just whoever has the highest score in 5 minutes. If you have the same score after that 5 minutes, then there's a little bit of a rule going on. You'll have to either keep the ball in the air as the timer's at 0, keep the ball in the air and try and score off of that, or B, let the ball touch the ground so that way you guys can go into overtime.
So timer hits, ball still in the air. It's like a pass in football. It's not over until the down's over. Nice.
Yes.
Good to know. Boise State did beat Ohio State 3-0 this week. Did you get to watch that match? I know we were kind of busy for that one.
Yeah, I did not get to watch that one, unfortunately.
Where are they at in the standings for?
On their standings, they are currently number 2 with 6 wins to 1 loss. They're doing great.
I think their 1 loss is to number 1 Michigan State, if I'm not
actually
mistaken.
Number 1 is Baylor University.
Baylor. I meant Baylor. Michigan's below.
Michigan is 3rd.
Yeah. They beat Michigan. It was Baylor that they lost to. So that was a good game. I did watch a little bit of that Baylor one.
I would love to see one of their Rocket League games.
Yep. So moving on, probably the pride and joy of Boise State esports. Rocket League probably is too. But the one that I have the most fun watching is Valorant. I know absolutely nothing on the game, but my doctor is going to be getting a call because I'm fairly certain I need new blood pressure medicines after last night. Boise State and Ohio State lived up 100% to the hype that I made it out to be. 2 undefeated teams going at it. Ohio State won the first one. Boise State won the second one. And the third match went to overtime. Championship games. Bri, what were your thoughts of Valorant?
Oh, boy. That Valorant game, the Valorant sets of games, those were great with them playing their maps. They played it all well. Just a few hiccups here and there that costed some time. Or it costed some rounds.
So Valorant's another first-person shooter. Way more fast-paced than your Call of Duties and Battlefields and stuff like that. A lot more hand movements that I don't know what they're doing. Black balls going everywhere. This little smoke dog-looking thingy. I don't claim to know anything about anything other than, hey, he killed the guy, and that said attacker defenders won, and we're the attacker or defenders, so I'm happy that we won. So
it sounds like Quidditch.
All right. What are some of those what are some of those things that, I mean, the walls go up everywhere. I guess you can't go through a wall. You got the little smoke thingies you can go into. How do you know what you can and can't go through? Obviously playing the game, but what is it that you can and can't go through? What are the little hand motions that they do and little smoke screens and stuff go out, but they don't really do anything? What's going on in those instances?
Okay, so I want to start with your walls here. You've got a couple different walls that get put up throughout a game. We have Astra's Ultimate, which is it divides the map in half. Bullets can't shoot through it, but players can walk through it. Depending on which side of the wall you're on, the other half of that wall, you won't hear any noise coming from the other half. And so it's a little noise canceller. It lets you come up with a little bit of a play, lets you make as much noise as you want to until, of course, an enemy either goes through that wall and hears all the noise and like, whoa, or until the wall comes down and suddenly everybody's exposed and everybody can hear noise.
Have you? I know you played this game probably the most out of all the games here. Have you ever been in an instance where someone's just waiting at the other end of that wall whenever it falls, and then it's just a free for all?
Not specifically that, but I've been in an instance where I tried to step through the wall and I'd get there's body blocking in this game. So I'd try and step through the wall, and as you're stepping through, you can't see until you cross. And so I'd get blocked in a spot where I can't see, and they'd be like, "Hey, you don't belong here," and shoot me.
So what I hear it talked about, what's the Viper Pit?
The Viper Pit, that would be Viper's ultimate ability, which the Viper Pit, what it does is you'll see her like do this little hand motion. She'll bring out a big cloud of smoke, and everybody who enters that is not on that Viper's team will start to decay health and become a little bit vulnerable. The vulnerability really doesn't matter though whenever you're at 1 HP. And so if you step into that smoke, you have decreased vision and decreased health, which is just not good in your favor. But as I've been playing, I've been going against some Vipers, and I would see my teammates get afraid to step into the Viper ult, and all I gotta tell them is she can only see as far as you can see in her ultimate.
And what is an operator? Is that what
An
they're?
operator. Yes.
Yeah. What's the strategy with the operator?
So the operator, if you don't know, is a sniper. It is the hardest hitting sniper in the game. 150 to the head, or no, to the body, which is all your health. 128 to the legs, and 255 to the head. If you hit in the legs, then you have to hit them again. Anywhere else, it's a one-shot sniper. The strategies for that is really hold long angles and just hold them. If you know that people are going to peek it, then you just sit there and you hold that scope right on that corner and you wait for them to go into your crosshair.
Is there opportunity for a one-shot 2-kill?
Yes, there is. There is collaterals in this game.
Nice.
I've been lucky enough to hit 3.
Nice.
To hit 3 people with 1 bullet.
What is the spike, and how does that play into the gameplay?
So this game is a search and destroy game. That is the entire basis of the game. The spike is the bomb. You go to A, B, sometimes C site, and you plant it. If you're attacking, if you're defending, you want to defuse it. It's gonna be like any of your other search and destroy games.
Nice. All right. And Ohio State, they did pull out the win against Boise State 3-2. Boise State and Ohio State still 1-2 on the leaderboard, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And Boise State did give Ohio State their first round loss of the year. So, I mean, if you guys didn't watch it, you missed one heck of a game. I mean, even if you don't understand it, it was fun. I mean, I'd rather be playing it or doing something else, but I sat down and I watched it, and I mean, I had to. It was 2 undefeated teams. You got to watch that and see if it lives up to everything it's supposed to be. And Boise State, I believe they jumped out to a quick lead in the first match. Ohio State came back, ended up winning it. And Ohio State had like a 4-point lead in the second match, and then Boise State all the momentum and came back and ended up winning that one. And then overtime, or the third match going to overtime, it was Boise State had a what was it, a 3 or 4-point lead? Do you remember, Bri?
I'd say Boise, I'm pretty sure, had a 4-point lead at the beginning of game 3.
And Ohio State, I mean, the Boise State had all the momentum going into that final point. And I was texting Matt. I was texting Nick, going, Boise State's at match point because I don't care. Give me the football cards. and like, I'll do it after this. But it was fun. I mean, it went to it, and then Ohio State ended up tying it up, and then winning it in overtime. And I mean, Boise State lost, but it was still a fun match to work on. So
I think Boise would have had a better chance in map 1 bind if Daimyo wasn't having such a hard time.
yeah.
He seemed to not be having the best game in game 1, which you're going to have those games. Some games you're not going to be all up to it. You'll have a little bit of a struggle. It happens to everyone.
Yeah. Dez and Hamburger for Ohio State really threw wrenches into Boise State's gameplay too.
Yes. And as I'm looking, I'm seeing that game 1 was the only struggle game, which that would be why they lost. It's because that was their only struggle game.
Yeah. So, but all in all, it was a great deal. The esports team. I think this is going to be a preview of the finals. What do you think?
I think it is as well.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great.
Yeah. And hopefully the outcome is reversed. Nick, I know Ryan and I have been kind of back and forth here. You have any questions for him regarding the esports team?
Where does Baylor mix in this? Do you think that they'll have a shot at towards the end of possibly pushing either Ohio State and Boise State out of contention, or is that just a different game that we're talking about?
I'd say the only thing Baylor might have a chance of pushing Boise and Ohio out of is Rocket League. In Rocket League, that is their highest standing at number 1, going 8-0. But Overwatch, they're 1-6. Valorant, they're not even on the top 8. Mm-hmm. And Smash, they're number 8, going 0-7.
All right. Well, Brian, this has been fun, informative. We'll look forward to having you on next week to talk more esports. And I know they're playing Smash right now, I believe. So maybe you can get off and go take a watch on that and see if they're any good.
All right.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Bri. And
thank you for
we'll
having
see
me.
you next week.
Of course.
Thanks, Bryson. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick.
We are cruising right along in 2025. Are you looking for a healthy change? Just breathe and let the Organized Experience help you embrace change. The Organized Experience team masters in the art of helping people find freedom through decluttering, organizing, and creating organizing systems. So let Stacy's team help you in 2025. Visit their website at theorganizedexperience.com.
All right. That was pretty informative.
Yeah, I liked it. And you know what? I think, by investing more in esports, that's going to be the future of sports, like it or not. You have professional athletes, everyone's playing sports. I might not be doing it, but it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's just going to continue to keep growing. And I'm just happy that Boise State is one of the forefront, players in the game. Doc is awesome. I love how competitive he is. He knows exactly what his record is. Even with all those games that they play, when we had him on when we were doing the preview for Nevada, he knew exactly how many wins that he had. I was like, yeah, you got 3,100 and some change. And he's like, no, we have, he told me exactly how many they had. And I'm happy that he's a Bronco, and I'm happy that what he's built for that program, because I think that's going to attract, along with the iconic blue, having esports program like he does in that facility there, that's going to attract the world's best talent.
Yeah, and he put has a piece out on the PEC website, the Power Esports Conference, Fall Stars watch, Doc's Notes, Coaching Edition. I'll just read you this quick little blurb on here, just kind of give you an idea. You can go check it out. And Nick, maybe we can link it in the group for people that want to read the whole deal. All right, chat, let's get this straight. I'm not unbiased. I'm old. I'm chopped. I'm the head coach at Boise State. And yeah, I'm picking all my guys if they let me. But I've been around long enough to have played Rocket League when it was still black and white and no talent when I see it. And these kids, they're cooking. So if you want to go and see who's the fall stars to watch for the esports, pc.edge.leagueos.gg. And Nick, if we want to link that in the group, we can, and go ahead and read some of Doc's notes on that. So we got a pretty big game coming up Saturday, don't we, Nick?
We do. It's another test for the Broncos to see who reigns supreme in the Mountain West. This will probably be the Broncos' final test to see where they measure up against the top of the league. Winner of this game has the best opportunity to host the Mountain West Championship.
Yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of boos for this next comment, I'm sure. But Boise State, believe it or not, is not out of the CFP. If and there's a whole lot of things that need to happen, but if Cutforth comes off this bye week and lights up one of the top defenses in the country, and Boise State can ride that momentum into the Mountain West Conference and win it, and a whole lot of cannibalization happens in the American Conference, and Southern Miss beats James Madison, Boise State could find themselves backdooring into the CFP in pretty good condition. And right now it looks like they'd probably be against a Georgia or a Georgia Tech maybe. So it'd be a pretty good game for their opening round if they do make it. But we won't dive too much into that. I'm going to do a quick shameless plug. If you want to listen to us dive too much into that, College Football Roundtable tomorrow night on the Bronco Nation Updates YouTube channel. So we did have you a football and chill segment lined up for tonight. Unfortunately, our guest is MIA right now. She may make her way on. She is the mother of a San Diego State lineman who was recruited by Boise State and ended up choosing San Diego State instead. So if she pops in, we'll bring her on. Otherwise, we'll go about our day. So, Nick, what are you most looking forward to seeing out of Max Cutforth this week?
I'm looking forward to our running game taking control of the game, and which will allow Coach Potter to set Max for some success. I do think that he should have had enough time to prepare. Hopefully, during the bye, hopefully he stuck around town. Played some catch with Caples or Penry or any of those receivers. I'm hoping that a lot of them did stick around in town and just put the work in to right the debacle that happened on the blue against the Fresno State Bulldogs. But I do think that I am optimistic that he's going to have a better game than what we saw last game. He's just kind of thrown in there. The coaches were able to see where there was a definite gap in the system. So I'm looking forward to Max being successful, and I think that he will be.
Yeah. Coach Danielson had said that Dylan Riley minimal touches isn't going to happen anymore. We've heard that once before this season. Do you think it's going to stick this time?
Well, I hope so, because, if you're not, then you're stuck in that, that cycle of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And, You know, the numbers don't lie. If Dylan Riley has more than 8 touches, the Broncos are undefeated this season. So I would like to see him get way more than 8. It's that just kind of shows you what kind of impact that the Jet has. You know, if he touches the ball 8 times, only 8 times, they are undefeated. So you know, I hope that that the coaches stand by their word, and you know, he gets the majority of the touches, way over 8, and then also a nice helping of Sire gains between the tackles.
Yeah, and my dad a couple weeks ago, a couple game weeks ago, he had made the observation or the I don't know what you call it, the strategic viewpoint. Do you ground and pound with Sire Gaines to start the game with that heavy hitting that he's capable of doing, wearing down the defensive front, and then pop Dylan Riley third, fourth quarter where he can get those big gains after the defense is has been tired out?
I like that strategy. Also, one thing that I'm always looking for innovation. I would like to see a 2-back set, and then train the quarterback to read the defense and know which way they want to go, either up the gut between the tackles or utilize Riley outside of the tackles. I think that would be a great strategy and something that would evolve the playbook. I think the majority of Bronco Nation have been waiting to see some evolution in the playbook. It open up and, see not just running it in between the tackles. That has proven to help out with some of those lesser known defenses. But right now we're talking about the 6th ranked defense in the country, number 1 in Mountain West. It'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy they use. Do they start out just punching up the gut with Sire Gaines, trying to wear that defensive front out, or do they start Riley and have him try a couple up in between the tackles and then shift it outside? What are they going to do? How are they going to adapt to how the play is? Keep in mind, the weather is going to be pretty shitty. They're calling that there's going to be like a bunch of rain. California as a whole is going to get 25% of their annual rainfall this weekend, and it's going to touch up basically that whole Pacific side of California, and it's going to come down right through San Diego. So they have been practicing this week in wet conditions, outside in the grass, no gloves, just trying to secure the ball. During one of the interviews that Dylan Riley was discussing, they are only focused on securing the ball. Outside of that, if they start, if they don't keep it simple and they're thinking about their footing, then that's just too much. And so what they're going to be doing is securing the football. So you might see a lot of in between the tackles, or I think that maybe with Riley's electric, game-changing speed and pivots, I think that he'll have a field day outside the tackle.
Yeah,
in those kind of conditions.
And you made mention San Diego State, top defense in the Mountain West, number 6 in the country. They blanked Cal 34-0. So their offense can do good unless they're going against Northern Illinois, which they were only put 6 points on them. But they've had 3 shutouts, including Cal, who just this last weekend beat number 15 Louisville. So at Louisville. So hopefully we can get that the defense that, or excuse me, the offense that played Northern Illinois and not the offense that played Cal. If we get the offense that played Northern Illinois, then our defense will control the game and give Cutforth the time to and Riley the time to wear down on that defensive front and get those running lanes opened up.
Yeah, and they've got some good ones on defense. They got Chambliss back there, 84 tackles. On the year, and then they got White on the edge. He's got 6 sacks, so he's got one more than our best on defense with Brax, who's sitting at 5. So they are as good as advertised. I will say that maybe their ego got kind of dinged last week, although it wasn't all on the defense, giving up 38 points to Hawaii. But still Hawaii did see some success.
I do have an update. We had Tracy, I'm not even going to pretend like I can say her last name, is a San Diego State football mom. Her son is a lineman for San Diego State, a right guard, I believe, or right tackle. Plays on the right side of the line. He has seen some game time this year, but her husband just sent me a message, and I got permission to share this. Tracy asked me to reach out to you. Unfortunately, she's at the hospital. She started feeling dizzy, and she may have had a heart attack. She will follow up with you when she can. Sorry about this. So, Bronco Nation, if you're the praying type, go ahead and lift Tracy up in your prayers tonight that it wasn't a heart attack and that she makes a full and speedy recovery.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, let's talk San Diego State's quarterback, Denegal. 15 of 193, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 1,547 yards. The 8 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Our secondary's been ball hawking lately. You think we can up his interception total this week, Nick?
Yeah, that's the thing that I like about the team is, we're no slouch on defense. We got the 34th nationally ranked defense as a whole, at least the 28th passing secondary in the nation. As far as their passing game, I'm not too worried about that. It's the running game that's pretty stellar. Yeah.
Passing yards allowed, Boise State ranks number 11. So if we can come out and just smash them and force them to be one-dimensional in the pass game, that bodes well for us for being able to play to our strengths.
Yeah, I think having Zion Washington back, and you got Mickey on the the boundary side, safeties. If they run, and you got Buck in center field, you got some. If they're running it, if they come out just trying to establish that rush, and the safeties can key in on that and give that the linebackers in that second zone some help, should be able to keep the running game in check, and then make them one-dimensional. And that's if we're doing everything right on offense and giving the defense a lot of time to to rest and take full advantage of stopping the run and making San Diego State one-dimensional. That'll be in our favor.
Yeah, and Boise State ranks 87th on the run on rushing defense, giving up about just shy of 157 yards a game. San Diego State on the flip side is rushing about 180 yards a game. So we could stiffen up a little and stop them. So it's not that far-fetched that our defense can step up and fill the gap until our offense can get it figured out with a new hat at the helm.
Yeah, that'll probably be the big test for the defense is not allowing Lucky to get past that first layer, the front seven. It'll be really, really important for the front line to keep everything in check and bottle up the pocket.
What Boise State player do you think is going to fly under the radar, or has been flying under the radar, and has the best chance to pop off this week?
Offense or defense?
Both. Pick one for each.
Well, I think unfortunately found out today that Chris Marshall will be out. Came back after the disciplinary action, suspension. Sounds like he twisted something during practice, so he's out this week. So that's again, we're working on a skeleton crew in the wide receiver room. I think that in Zion Washington coming back, I think that's going to be great. I don't know how what percentage he's at. So I think you're going to see some platooning between him and Derek Ganter Jr. on the boundary safety. I do think that probably the under the radar would be probably Ganter. He's doing great. He's already got 22 tackles in Zion's absence. On the offensive side, I think this might be a great game to use Q Brown, the freshman, if he's good to go. He can fly down the field. He can use him in slot, and those would be like really quick throws for Max if you can get those out, and then you just let him do the rest, which he can do.
He's got four receptions, 51 yards, and a touchdown on the year. So, of course, he caught that one where his helmet popped off and broke his nose and held onto the ball. So he's got hands.
Yeah, he's tough as hell. So if they play him, I could see him being the under the radar, but I really want Dylan Riley to be the star. I think if he's the star of this game, the Broncos have a really good chance at winning.
Yeah. So we all know Matson went down. Cutforth's going to take the spot. Do you think if Cutforth just, God forbid, doesn't live up to par, do you think we could see our second backup quarterback, Doyle, come out and lead the team to victory?
Well, he's got 100% QBR, doesn't he?
Yeah, 2 for 2, 21 yards, a touchdown. So,
if you're going to bring him, you got to bring in Grizzle to be the receiver. He's been good. No, I think that Max has the right mentality. He said this week that he's coming in regardless of what regardless of how Mad Dog comes back. fortunately for Maddox, he doesn't have to have surgery, so he may be coming back later in the season. But Max's mentality, he's a quiet dude, but he's competitive, and that's why him and Mad Dog get along so great. Max is pursuing this like he's gonna win this job, so I like that. I like that he's reserved, but he's competitive, and there's a reason why he's a walk-on. He earned his scholarship, and now he's QB1 against San Diego State. So I think that he's got the right mentality. I think that if the run is established, I think he'll do well. And like I said, he's going in this trying to win this job, regardless of when Mad Dog comes back or not. But and they've always respected each other. I've seen them both interact with each other in some of our Christmas outreaches. They're great friends, but they also love that competitive nature, and that's what's made that room really good. That's why it was so surprising in the Fresno game that Max came out and didn't perform very well, but kind of sounds like it was kind of a lack of preparation leading into that. But that being said, if you do see something that goes awry, and again, it's even with like Mad Dog, they're one play away from the backup coming up, and I think the debate now of what I've been hearing over the Caleb Annett still QB3, or is it Zeke Martinez? I've been hearing, some just kind of reading between the lines, and where I've thought that Caleb Annett is right now you would think that he's QB3, but that may not be the case.
Yeah. Moving on to some tight end action. It's really been a surprisingly non-productive year for Louder. I know a lot of people had high hopes for him to be the guy in the receiving corps, and it just really hasn't come to fruition. He's only got 232 yards and a touchdown on 24 receptions. Do you think he can find a way to break out this game and be that guy, or do you think the weather is probably going to put a damper on the entire passing game?
Well, it certainly help out Max if he could get some production out of Matt. I think maybe Matt's been a little dinged up this season, but it would really be helpful if both Matt or Wagner, or even put Grizzle in there. He's proved that he can be clutch. But I think that having a depleted receiver room, it would probably some of these plays that you've seen where Mad Dog and Matt Louder have been automatic. Having a cut forth that's healthy out there, maybe try some of those play action passes to the tight end. That might give the Broncos the spark they need and the confidence they need in a game like this.
Yeah. Ty Benefield's been lights out in defense, coming up, stopping the run. He's all over the field. He's got 66 tackles, 46 of them solo, 2 pass deflects, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble this year. Do you think he's going to be just as big a factor as he's been in virtually every game this year?
Yeah, Buck. I think Buck's going to go buck wild again. He's the dude. I mean, point blank, he's the dude. He's probably the hardest worker on the team. He's one of the fastest on the team as well. He leads by example, and And we haven't even seen a big hit. I mean, a big hit that he can do. But I think in a game like this, if it's going to get muddy and nasty, this is where you're going to see Buck really go buck wild, and lay the wood down. Especially in some, if the weather proves it's going to be what they're saying and it's just going to be nasty, this is going to be his wheelhouse where he can use his speed and be the center fielder and really just lay the wood on an unexpected running back or receiver. So they better have their head on the swivel, because I think leaders don't like to get punked in their own house by Fresno.
Right.
And he's a leader. He's a dog, and he's going to step up to this challenge for sure.
McCoy, he's got the 4 interceptions on the air. 2 of them ran back for a touchdown. One of the only players in the country to have multiple pick sixes. He's got 3 pass deflects to go along with it and 25 tackles. He's really stepped up his game. Probably a good thing with the departure from the program by Banks. I think we learned about it today, actually. Maybe yesterday. With Washington coming back, we get that back. Irby's been coming on strong. And of course Mickey. Of course, I almost forgot him. Who's going to take that role that Banks had? Who's going to step up? Is it going to be the Ganter, or is it maybe one of the like Johnson or someone like that?
I mean, from that debacle against USF, that allowed Mickey to get his opportunity, and he's been doing awesome. He's a fan favorite. We've seen Sherrod Smith in there. We've seen Franklin Johnson, I believe that you just said. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think that the nucleus is out there, though. I mean, with Mickey, Washington, Ganter Jr., splitting that time with him, Irby, McCoy, and Benefield. I really believe that is suffice. I think that they're gonna, especially if it's nasty and that quarterback's throwing a wet ball. Man, it wouldn't surprise me if McCoy razzles and dazzles us again in San Diego. I could just vision a duck flying out and just playing center field, either him or Irby. So I would probably lean more towards Franklin Johnson getting an opportunity. I'm not real. I don't think that Sherrod Smith is up to speed yet. I've just seen a couple breakdowns from him, and I don't think that you want to put him in when you have the championship on the line, because every game now the championship is on the line, and what's on the line to on Saturday is home field. And if the Broncos want to make this a three-peat, they've got to win Saturday. And so you got to put your best chips out there. So I would go more towards Franklin Johnson or another maybe a younger, talented, like a Dre Tolomere.
Okay.
Maybe him. I would probably go with Trey Tolomere, actually.
All right. And final question to wrap up this segment here. Notriani, we've seen him be beat on the edge a few times, whether it's taking the wrong angle or getting caught up in traffic, and he just doesn't seem to have that speed to stretch the field to get running back to the sideline without running back being able to turn the corner. Do you think that's going to be an issue with the wet conditions, him being able to stop that outside run or get around to help with that outside run? Or do you think the Benefield and company, they'll be able to come up and force that stop before Notriani gets too exposed in a way?
I think it'll be about the same as it ever is. If the ball carriers around him, if he's in a good position, for the tackle, he's gonna do a good job at sure tackled. But I think what you're gonna really need to do is rely on Will Phelps. He's been great. He's been able to transition to the Sam, the Mike, and the Will very effectively. So we're gonna need Bo to really be on his A game, and then also you can't forget Jake Rip. Maybe him step up. But if and I'm not the coach by any means, but I mean, if you do see Marco struggle in a game that maybe gets sloppy, maybe do put Bo, Jake, and then also Kaywood has been coming in. Roman Kaywood has been coming in 51, and he's brings a lot of energy. So maybe bring a youngster like that in, and especially if it starts getting nasty, and that's why I'm thinking that like Hugh Brown will do great, Riley will do great, and a slop fest is because you got some burners. No disrespect to Marco, but he's great. He's a great tackler, when he's in position, but the minute he's out of position, he just doesn't have the speed to catch up, and then it more or less looks like he's just trying to arm tackle. I know that's not what he's trying to do. I know he knows how to tackle, but that's just what happens. So, I would say maybe, if that's what's going on, put in one of those, a young 51 in there. He does really good. I've seen him light up a couple suckers, man.
Yeah,
some good tackles.
Well, Nick, let's go do a break, and we come out of the break, we'll talk about the week ahead for Bronco sports and a few other topics.
The Plaza Inn owners, Jason and Selena Jungling, are huge supporters of Boise State. If you've ever watched a game, chances are you've seen them as the superfans, the Flintstones. So let's show them as much support as they've supported Boise State by making the short drive over to Ontario. Enjoy dine-in and carry-out by giving them a call at 541-889-3550 for homemade breads, pastries, and soups. Or check them out on the web at plazainrestaurant.com.
All right, Nick, what's volleyball doing?
Oh, right now, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. All right, back to center. Right now, Boise State is trailing San Jose 2-1. So hopefully they can turn that around, and they'll need to take it to a 5-set.
Yeah. Tomorrow, the cross country is at NCAA Regionals in Sacramento, California. Tennis starts the Wildcat Invite tomorrow through Sunday. Women's basketball has the big game against UC Davis. If you don't have anything better to do tomorrow at 6:30 Mountain Time, head out to Extra Mile and set some attendance records. They're going to need the energy for that one. UC Davis can shoot lights out at times, so head on out and support the ladies. Volleyball on Saturday is at Fresno State. You can watch that on the Mountain West Network. Men's basketball is home against Montana State. You can go unless you're going to the San Diego State game, go ahead and head out and watch the men play Montana State. I believe I haven't played them in quite some time, right, Nick?
Yeah, it's been
Montana
about 16 years, I believe. I just saw my press release come out, and it's been about 16 years. I couldn't tell you who won the last one.
Football, San Diego State wear orange. Game starts at 8:30 Mountain Time, and yes, Nick and I will be up after the game Sunday morning for me doing the post game. So if we're up, you can be up too. Tune in. Bronco Nation Updates YouTube channel. It'll be in the group as well. Sunday just has the women's tennis invite. And then next week, the esports team has Nebraska and Colorado State all week in their various events. So that's your quick rundown. And you can check out the sports we've covered here and see further into the future than what we cover at broncosports.com, and check out their calendar there on the front page. Nick, serving Bronco Nation. What is serving Bronco Nation, and how can businesses and small businesses, especially that may not be able to afford the bigger sponsorship opportunities, how can they get in touch with it?
So serving Bronco Nation is an apparatus that works hand in hand with what we're doing. If you've been paying attention, watching us, we have been consistently putting on shows with state student athletes. So if you're a small business or an entrepreneur, we want you guys to get on our team, and you can get your logos on a spot like a show like this, or a show where we have a future Hall of Famer from the basketball or the soccer team or whatever it is. We want to advertise with you when you invest in the directory. You're on our you become part of the team, and you're on the website. Our platforms routinely, consistently hit about 2.2 million viewers per month, and that's even during the off season. It'll trend higher, like right now with the football and the basketball seasons going, and all the sports that are going right now. The views that go through the roof. You get your spots on our cards here. The main thing, though, is you become part of the team, and what we're doing is it's basically a grassroots. I've been doing this for over a decade. The vision is, we're putting the time in, the effort to build a product that you can invest in, and then we can invest in Boise State. That's what we're doing here. It's a labor of love. Sam and I do this. We volunteer to do this. We love it because we get to talk about Bronco sports. And so we're looking for businesses out there that want to help the student athletes and love, the sports that we love, and just let us advertise for you on venues like this. In Bronco Nation Updates, the group, we've got 30,000 members there. Bronco Nation, the pages, we have one page that has about 20,000 followers on that. We're building the YouTube channel up. And then you'll get on the directory on the website. And we're building that too out further. Like, say you don't have a website, you're an entrepreneur, we'll work with you. You invest in us, we'll work with you. We'll get you a website on Bronco Nation Updates. I've been blessed with that kind of technical gift, and so I can do that. If you're out there and you got a small business idea and but you don't have the technical background, let us do it for you. You pour into Boise State, and then we'll advertise for you and bring in those clients that you need. And like I said, we've been doing this for a long time. We're getting better at the craft. We're getting the players. I have relationships with former players who are in the NFL. We have them back regularly. So we really want to partner with these smaller businesses, and it doesn't matter what it is. When you invest in this platform, we rev share with the university, and then it's a win-win. The Bronco Nation is going to support businesses that support the athletes, and that's what we're in this for. I didn't see this in the beginning, but it grew to this, and I really wanted to leverage what Bronco Nation has built with what we have for the greater good of the university. Because to be honest, my favorite pro team absolutely sucks. The Atlanta Falcons suck, and I get way more enjoyment from the Boise State Broncos, and that's where I'm pouring back into this. I love all the teams, and if you love the teams, join us, and let's do this, and let's be the fuel that propels our student athletes to championship caliber programs, not only as a mid-major, but the ultimate goal is to dominate in the Power 4, Power 5 structure. That's where my heart is, and I think that through the years I've met a lot of people who are just like that, just like Sam and others that I've had the honor and the blessing to meet, and I cherish every one of the relationships that I've built all these years, and I know that together we can do this. Anything and everything counts. So if you have a business, invest in that. If you want to help out in other ways, we have blueelevation.org, our nonprofit, and there's a variety of ways that you can help out the university that way too. You just let us know how you want your buck to go, and we'll send it that way. Also, we have community outreaches that are coming up. We have our third annual Bronco Christmas on the Blue. We're always looking for volunteers. So if you want to help out monetarily, we're always looking for that, but we're also looking for volunteers too. So just reach out to us. You can reach us at contact@blueelevation.org if you want to volunteer, or if you want to help out and contribute. Anything and everything counts. And it's the main thing, our vision is to support the university so that we can stack these national championships, because it's possible. Together we can do this.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Blue Elevation. For all you that like to complain about the players or complain about the coaching in the comments, do some talking with that wallet. You can donate to Blue Elevation and have a say where your money helps the school the most. So if you want to invest in better defensive backs going forward, Nick, how can they do that on Blue Elevation?
Yeah, like I said, there's a variety of ways that you can contribute on our nonprofit, and one way is make your contribution on the comment line. Just let us know where you want it. If you wanted to go softball, yes. You want to go to football, defensive back, put that in the comments. It's going there.
Yeah. So we got a good thing going. We do like giving money to the school to help them progress their championship agenda, and that's what we're all here for. We're all on the same team. Nick, do you have any final thoughts on the show today or on the game for Saturday?
Yeah, just I'll be on the Kevin Miller show tomorrow at 7:30 in my usual spot. He likes to play devil's advocate, and so I'm going to be answering some tough questions about what happened, in Fresno State and what's going to happen in San Diego. So tune into that tomorrow on 107.5 FM on the radio dial, or 580 AM, or around the world on the KIDO Talk Radio app. You can find that in the App Store and for Android, and in the Apple Store.
All right.
You got any predictions?
Predicting. I am predicting that Boise State comes out with a win, 36-21.
I have it a little bit closer. I'm going 30-20.
All right. I like
Boise
it.
State.
Both of them wins. If you're not doing anything tomorrow night at 7:30 Mountain Time, I am. Nick's not going to be on this show, but I have a show called the College Football CFP Roundtable on a rectangle screen. I got Dominic Crusetto. We had him on during the App State game. He's with the Sun Belt Syndicate. He's going to be on this week advocating for the little guy. I got Todd Sandberg from Todd Talks College Football, deep in Big Ten country. He's going to join us and talk some college football that way. And of course, Pops. We have a new segment for Pops. He's going to be doing a Pops Off. So if you want to know what that's going to be like, go ahead and tune in tomorrow night, 7:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 Eastern, and enjoy the show. Come with comments and questions and scenarios that you think will happen with the CFP, and we'll talk some college football ahead of Saturday's ball games.
So, Bronco Nation, thanks for watching tonight. And if you're watching a replay, put down your comments. Do all the things. Like, share, subscribe. Do all of that. It only helps what we're trying to do and rev share with the school. And then meet us back here post-game. We'll have the post-game show after the San Diego State Boise State game. Hopefully we'll be talking about a great win. But either way, come meet us back here. You'll find a link on the game thread in the Bronco Nation Updates group in Meta. Or if you subscribe, then you'll get a notification when we go live for the post-game show. So until then, I want you guys to bleed blue. I want you guys to support the student athletes and just take heart. You know, there's a lot of football to be played. We're not out of it. If we have one foot in the door, we still have a puncher's chance. And I believe in the Broncos. I think they're going to pull out a win in San Diego State. So have heart, bleed blue, go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Hi, I'm Ron Dorn. I'm president of Blue Elevation. A lot of you have probably heard of it in other sites like Bronco Nation Updates, and I just want to talk a little bit about Boise State football and what we're trying to do to help move the team forward. It's a lot of fun to work with them, but as you know, with the upheaval in college football and the NIL money, we're always needing more, and we're trying to do that by giving more news to you than you can get in other sources and events that you might be able to attend. And we would just love to see your support, additional support for Boise State, so we can take this to the next level, especially moving into the Pac-12. I see such a bright future for us by doing this. For those of you that are as old as I am, you remember when we had wooden bleachers and we did rodeos in the stadium, and we had good coaches and we were doing the best we can with what we had. These coaches need that continuated support to make it happen for us. You can see what we've done with what little we've had, but we really need the help, and we just need the commitment, and we need you to get involved with us to push the Boise State program forward. Again, especially going to the Pac-12, and especially the futures out there, and what the basketball team is doing, the women's softball team is doing, and some other sports that I follow. We just want to keep you involved and focused and helping us out any way that you can do that to support our university.